All right, so we're going to get started. We're going to do a little bit of that new breath that I told you, the physiological breath that we did the other day. If you weren't here for it, it's great. We're talking kind of about anxiety a little bit right now. But this is something you can do at any time, even if you're feeling great. It's also good for if you're angry. It's also good if you're feeling a little down. This is a great breath. It's an immediate calm down. People always ask me, what can I do right then to feel calm? Like, if I'm in the middle of class, I'm about to take a test, I'm feeling worked up, I can't just like go to my garden. I need to do something. So here's something you can do. It's 2 sharp inhales followed by a long exhale. The sharp inhales are through the nose and the exhale is through the mouth, but nice and slow. Okay. So if you go, ugh, that's not going to do anything for you. So watch, you go. You keep going. You're not taking an exhale between the 2 inhales. It's inhale, stop, then exhale. Okay. So let's do that together. Go ahead and find your nice mindful posture, sitting up with a strong back, but a soft front. You're not at attention, but you're also not slouching or laying or whatever. You got to give your lungs room to breathe. The point of this is to take a nice deep breath, lots of air coming into the lungs, way down to the bottom. You do know that most of the day, you're only breathing out the top third of your lungs, right? You don't breathe and you don't inflate your lungs all the way most of the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to inflate our lungs most of the way by breathing in and expanding the lungs to almost their full capacity if we can. And then we're going to exhale through the mouth. Somebody who's been here before, probably tell me, if you're trying to calm down, should you be emphasizing your inhale or your exhale?
Exhale.
Why? Anybody know?
Because it feels better.
Yes, because, and we'll get to that, but you've got a nervous system. And when you breathe, I'm going to tell you the real reason later on, but not today. When you breathe in really fast, you're taking a lot of air and your inhale is like where your emphasis is. It's usually because you're about to go into fight or flight, or you're startled, or you're ready to, like you're getting a lot of oxygen. It's the exhale, which sends a message back up to the brain that we're calm, that we're entering into a state of like rest and digest, chill. So this one, if you're really breathing out nice and slow, is going to give you that same effect. So I've talked too much. Let's just do it. Ready? Here we go. We're going to inhale first, pause, and then exhale. Ready? Let air out. All right. Through the nose. Inhale, pause, nice and sharp. Inhale again, pause, and then through the mouth. Very good. Let's do that one more time. That's an instant calm down. You're kind of feeling like, what? And I've done that several times now, but that's a really good one to do whenever you need to. Let's try it one more time together. Let the air out. All right, here we go. Inhale, pause, inhale again, pause, and now exhale. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's do weather report. So I want you to take your attention and turn it inwards. As you know, you're always feeling something. You're always feeling something. Even if you feel neutral or bored, that's somewhere on here probably. So take a second. Do you have your hand up? Sorry, go ahead.
I realized that the last book that we did is kind of like in bands, because he's always like, you only take 1 beat to breathe, and then you have to play for like 60 seconds. And that gets you like, that makes you alert and that makes you on, right? Because you're like having to play your music. So especially if you're like performing, there's a lot of adrenaline involved. Like I was a big, band, orchestra, marching band. So you're taking in these real big inhales, but in that case, you kind of need to, because you need the adrenaline, you need the alertness, you need your nervous system on if you're trying to perform. So something is always happening feelings wise. So I want you to take a second to turn your attention inwards and just not looking around, because the person next to you is not in your body. So I want you to think about what you are feeling right now. You don't have to have a name for it. Just kind of guess like, what's the temperature of my body right now? Like, and I don't mean like physical temperature. I mean, am I feeling kind of happy-ish or sad-ish or nervous or mad? Think about it. And then you're going to change it in just a second to a type of weather. So think about what you're feeling And then imagine that that feeling is a type of weather. I'll give you a moment to kind of reflect. Hey, if anyone would like to share, I'm never going to make you share, but if you would like to share what type of weather you have, please, very short, just tell me what type of weather you have going on today. I'm just going to come around this way. Yes.
Kind of like damp and humid in a very calming way.
Okay, damp and humid, but in a calming way. Yes.
Stormy.
Stormy.
Stormy but snowy.
Stormy but snowing. Interesting.
Thunderstorms.
Thunderstorms.
Sunny day, but like magic tornado forms.
Sunny day but tornado forming. Yes. Foggy. Yes.
Rain, but it's a good rain.
Okay, rain, but it's a good rain. I feel like really gorgeous sunny day, but it's really cold outside. Like if you walk outside and you're like, wow, the sun, like ever like a winter day when you walk out and the sun is just blazing, you're like, it is a beautiful day. It's also like 10 degrees. That's how I feel. Whatever that means. I don't even know. I can't even begin to tell you. I just know that that's kind of what I've got going on today, which is fine. Why do I have you guys label your feelings? Anybody know this who's been here for a while? What does that do for us when we sit and we go, what am I feeling like today? That's not because we're sitting here going, tell me about your childhood, tell me how you feel. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not my job. Why do I do that? Yes.
Because it makes you notice that you're feeling that way.
Absolutely. So that's mindful to notice what you're feeling. Yes. It's what? Fun. Yeah. Did you say fun? Yes, it is fun. Yep.
Well, in my opinion, because you describe it as weather, it's very easy to visualize one's feelings. So it would give you a way better way of communicating how one feels. Even if it's not like a feeling that you can describe, you can still visualize it using a very simple example like weather.
Exactly. And weather, just like our feelings, never stays the same, right? It always changes. The sky's always there. You always have yourself, but what's in the sky at the time changes constantly. Even if you feel like it's been rainy days for a lot of days, it's not going to rain forever. So that's weather, right? So our feelings are always changing. And if you're feeling good, that's okay. You will feel sad again one day, and that's all right. You've survived 100% of your worst days so far, and the weather will change and we'll come back. There's also science. Here comes the science part. They had people in an MRI, you know, the machine like sees your brain. It sees all sorts of things, but they were looking at their brain. And there were people who were feeling a lot of discomfort, a lot of stress, and they could see the parts of the brain lighting up with these people that they were feeling really, really emotional. Okay. They then asked them to say aloud what they were feeling. They said, I feel anxious. Do you know what happened?
They got anxious.
The light dimmed a little bit. So the activity got a little less. And so what that tells us, not just from that one example, but from lots, and we just know this anyway, is like when you label your feelings, it makes them a little bit more understandable. So if you're feeling really overwhelmed and you're feeling really anxious and you're feeling really, or you're feeling really upset or emotional, just saying aloud, I feel really upset, makes it more manageable. It takes it from this big fuzzy to like, oh, that's still really heavy, but at least I have a name for it. It gives it a box. It's a, this is the upset box. I'm upset today. Helps you understand better yourself and what's going on inside of you. So labeling your feelings is important, even if that means I feel sunny outside or I feel rainy. Like even that is enough to go, here's what mindfulness is. You're taking what's going on thoughts, you're taking what's going on feelings, and you're looking at it like you're looking at it under a microscope with curiosity, like you're a scientist, and you're going, oh, look at that. I'm feeling sunny with really cold temperatures today. And then you can go, I wonder why that is. Instead of going, I feel so anxious. I'm so tired of feeling anxious. All I feel is anxious all the time. What is wrong with me? No one else feels like this. Like you can feel your feelings, but if you were to look at it with curiosity and go, wow, I'm feeling some intense anxiety today. It's really interrupting my thoughts today. I wonder why that is. And then you can start to explore like you're a detective or like you're a scientist and go, you know what? I had a lot of coffee this morning. You know what? I forgot that assignment. And that really is what set me off this morning. I got upset. You know what else? I realized that I'm going to have to go to my other parents' house this weekend. And I just don't want to go there. I'd rather go with my friends. Like there's lots of things you can start to investigate. If you're getting consumed by your feelings, you can't really investigate them. But if you're sitting with them and you're looking at them like they're out here in your hand and going, I'm gonna give that a name. I'm gonna say I feel upset today. What is that about? Oh yes, my sibling took my whatever, or my, mom forgot to sign my field trip form and now it's late, and the teacher, rolled her eyes at me, and that made me feel really small. That made me feel really, dismissed, or whatever it is. So you can start to investigate and get down to the bottom of it. All right. What are we gonna do next? Oh, we're gonna do a little meditation per request. So let me invite you to find a good meditative posture. If you are someone who's going to go to sleep, then you are going to not lay down. Okay. If you're someone who's like, I'm 100% going to go to sleep, do not lay down. Your job then is to sit upright. You can even put your back against the wall. I'm fine with that. If you're someone who's like, I'm 100% not going to go to sleep, I'm totally here and aware and awake, and I'm going to be awake and alert, then you can find yourself flat on your back for mindfulness, not on fetal position, not on your stomach, but flat on your back. Your back is on the ground. Your hips are on the ground. Yes.
I actually fall asleep all the time last year.
Yeah, I know, but you're not doing it so far this year, which I appreciate. So, because are you going to get anything out of it if you take a nap? No, you're going to get a few little bits of sleep, which that should tell you that you're sleep deprived. You should go to bed early tonight. But you're not going to get the delightful benefit of mindfulness that you get when you have meditation. Okay, so your brain's not going to change. It's just going to go to sleep. It's just going to go to night, right? We want to stay awake. All right. Make yourself 5% more comfortable than you are. Relax your jaw, relax your head. Make sure no part of you is touching any other person or any other person's stuff. Okay. So there's a little bit of separation here, if we don't mind. Perfect. Whatever you need to do to make yourself 5% more comfortable, please do it. Release your jaw, release your shoulder muscles, release the feet. Start to bring stillness to your body. So I'm seeing a lot of folks still kind of fidgeting and moving around. Just to challenge yourself to see if you can remain still. Just challenging. You might not do a perfect job of it, and that's okay, because I'm the mayor of that town. I'm gonna fidget all the time, but try your best to be as still as you can. I'm going to invite you now also to close your eyes if that's something you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, then you just simply stare off into space, not looking at another person, but either sitting up, looking down at the floor, or if you're laying down, just staring off at the ceiling, and just kind of let your eyes go kind of unfocused a little bit. Becoming very still, and start to make your breaths just a little bit slower. If the lights are really bright for you looking up, then I would invite you to close your eyes. Letting the body be still. Letting the body become heavy. Shoulders dropping away from the ears if you're sitting upright. If you're laying down, the feet are relaxed. The legs are relaxed. The shoulders relaxed. The facial muscles, if you're holding any tension in your body, in your face, in your shoulders, letting that kind of melt away. We're going to do a different type of meditation today. Unlike the garden where we go on an imagination journey, we're going to do a totally different style of meditation, but one that I think is equally helpful, equally good. So I want you to imagine right now that you are sitting on a hill that overlooks a road. So you're just sitting, maybe you're sitting on a bench or you're sitting in a hammock, but you are sitting in such a way that you can watch the road. And it's just a little road. It's not maybe it's a highway, but it's just whatever standard road. And we're going to do a little bit of a challenge. I want you to imagine that this road is kind of like your mind, in that it's your train of thought. And every time you think a thought, a car travels down that road. And each new thought that you have is a new car, and it just travels down the road. Your job is to recognize every time you think a new thought, you stay seated where you are on the hillside and just let that thought go by, like you're watching the car go down the road and out of view. But Ellen, what if I think a lot of thoughts? That's okay. But Ellen, what if I think no thoughts? Also fine. What if there are a ton of cars? Very good, all fine. Try to, for the next 1 minute, watch the cars. Nope, I'm gonna make it 2 minutes. That's a little difficult, but I think you can handle it. Just for the next 2 minutes, your job is to notice every time you have a thought and watch that thought drive by down the road. Try not to stay with the thought, just watch it go by. All right. 2 minutes to do that. I'll let you know when the time is up, starting now. Start to bring your attention back to this place, watching the road fade away. Don't go anywhere yet. We're staying where we are. I'm going to walk you back into this space kind of slowly. The road's fading, the hillside you're on also fading. Instead, now you notice the sound of my voice. You're hearing the noises in the room around you. Become aware of the ground pushing back up against you where it's making contact with your body. Bring some small movements to the fingers or the toes. If your eyes were closed, feel free to flutter them open when you're ready. And then slowly come up onto one side and then meet me back in a seated position. Perfect. If your neighbor is taking their time, that's okay. We're going to let them. So that was an interesting meditation and very different from the garden because I kind of gave you the reins to drive a little bit. I didn't walk you through very much. All I said was you have to watch the thoughts in your mind. I have a couple of points I want to make about this, but first let me just see. Thumbs up if that was easy to watch your thoughts. Thumbs down if it was hard and impossible, and anywhere in between. So show me where we at. Okay, gotcha. All right, put your thumbs away. Thank you. I have mixed results with this myself. Some days it's easier to watch my thoughts than others. Sometimes it's like gridlock traffic. There's just so much I can't even. How about if you're willing to share, did you have a lot of traffic or a little bit of traffic? Or if you had some sort of difficulty, what was the difficulty? Very, very quick, like one sentence, okay? So we can get into the next thing. Yes.
Like I had just normal everyday traffic.
Or normal everyday traffic, okay? Yes.
Like but it's like
like one or two cars and then like a giant group of them.
And you're like, oh, yep, yes.
I was trying to do cars, but it felt like more of a train because I couldn't let go of the thought, so it just went in.
So it was like constant. There was like no break between. Okay, I got you. Yes, back here.
Oh, mine's kind of a train instead of a train. It was just a really long bus.
Really long bus, just the longest. I feel you. Yeah, Barrett.
I had a train and cars.
Okay, so we have a lot of transportation represented today. Yes.
Honestly, like the whole time we were doing that, I felt like, okay, I have to think a thought in order to like get a car.
Ooh.
So I couldn't like think, and so I just started writing my eyes.
Yeah. So that's certainly something. Let me go ahead and say that obviously if you don't have any thoughts, don't feel like you have to have cars. Your road can be totally empty and that's okay. So release yourself from feeling like you have to have cars. Because you don't. You can have a totally empty road and that's fine. There's no wrong way to have your road. No wrong way to have your road. Yes.
I had like a lot of cars, but I had one like airplane.
Okay, airplane. Last one, yes.
So I also had like, do you know those like people who like have these fancy sports cars and glasses and rap music on their
Yep.
speakers?
Yep.
I had one of those.
I
from that.
yes, and thoughts can be like that. Let me tell you something about thoughts that you need to know. Thoughts are not facts. Also, feelings are not facts. Thinking a thought does not make it true. Okay, number one. You can have a very loud, noisy, souped up, bass blaring thought, and that doesn't mean that it's more important than others, and doesn't mean that it's right or that's going to come true or whatever. Okay. Thoughts are not facts. Also, we put way too much emphasis on our thoughts. We feel like we have a thought and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like, you ever like cook something, you're like, what if I put my hand on the stove? Oh no, like, release yourself. Thoughts are just thoughts. Okay. So we put way too much emphasis on thoughts. Thoughts are just thoughts. All right. Here's what you need to know about this activity. Your brain is meant to think thoughts. Shh, my friend's right here. Your brain is meant to think thoughts. You're supposed to think thoughts. You can't turn your brain off from thinking thoughts, really. That's like, super high level meditation stuff, and not even the most expert people can even get there. I think I would never be able to actually fully turn my brain off. I don't think I ever would. And I've practiced meditation for years. So free your mind about like, I can't think thoughts. It's okay to think thoughts. Here's the thing about the traffic. You don't go down into your road and try to stop the thoughts from happening. I'm not supposed to think. You don't run into the road of your mind and go, stop. That's not going to work. Secondly, you don't try chasing down thoughts either. Like, let's say that, who are we looking for? Let's say that there's a really interesting thought that's like, did that person look at me like that because they're mad at me? And all of a sudden now you're thinking about that thought and you're like running down after that. You're chasing that car, right? Does it do you any good to chase cars? No, not even the ones in your brain. So with the traffic, you just let it go by in this meditation. You don't try to stop cars from going on the road, and you don't try to chase down thoughts and try to be like, wait, I need to think about that. What was that about? Nope, just let it go. Okay. Yes.
I feel like I was talking out loud.
You were not. You got it. So any other thoughts about that? It takes practice, my friends. It takes practice to be able to you're not trying to stop traffic. You're trying to not get in the middle of your own traffic in your mind. That's the point, is to sit there and just watch and let things be. Also, watching your traffic can tell you what's going on in there. It's like, okay, there are a lot of cars down there about my math homework. And I guess I'm more bothered by that than I realized. Or there's a lot of cars down there about that thing somebody said to me this morning. That person kind of snapped at me that was in the hallway. And I guess that really bothered me. And because it's like every third car is about this thing that happened. And I can't seem to let that go. So I need to think through that. And then when you come out of the meditation, you go, that really bothered me. It teaches you about yourself to sit and watch the traffic go by. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching.